Today's AskReddit post. Women, what's something men say that they think is okay, but is actually creepy as hell? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. Where's my hug? Aisle 3. Near the deodorant and self-help books. Hint. Hint. When I was pregnant, there was regular at the restaurant I worked at who would always tell me he knew I wished it was his baby. Creepy and also no. Sir. What the absolute duck? Where do these statements even come from? Dude had a lot of inner demons he was battling. One of those people who was so kind and polite sober and then became a creepy jerk when intoxicated. I was trying to sell something on Marketplace and he messaged me and said, "Do you come with it? Thank you for being creepy. Before I gave you my address for pickup, sir." You know what? No men ever attempted to flirt with me more than when I was a 16-year-old cashier. I'm talking older men, like even some like 40s and 50s. One like 30-year-old asked me how much I would be if they scanned me. I blushed so hard out of humiliation and he took it as compliment to him. So gross. Not something they say, but them not getting out of the way / not letting you pass them even if it's playful. I was in the store not long ago strolling looking at my list, noticed in my peripheral vision someone coming towards me. I moved to the side. They moved to the side. I moved back, they moved. I finally look up and this old man says, "Gotcha," to smile. I was not smiling, I was making a WTF face. Yeah. IDK, which one is worse, being told to smile or them being so proud of themselves if they see you smile, even an obvious fake one or awkward laugh one? I'll tell a story about when I was unintentionally creepy. I was at a conference and met up with a new coworker. Walking out of the conference I asked where she was staying, not because I had any intention of flirting, but because I'm awkward and had nothing else to say and wanted to talk about my cool hair. I think she got uncomfortable and said my husband and I are staying at that hotel. I felt like she was trying to make it clear that she's married and not interested, which is fair. I'm too. We are good friends now and had some pretty chill conversations the next day. Probably because she later learned I'm married and expecting. I don't know, but I still cringe about it. Note to self, don't ask women about their living situation when it's expected that they're alone. I like a challenge. I know it can be flirty. However, it's usually said by the guy who isn't accepting that you've turned him down. Now it comes off as predatory. And then we have my friends, where she would turn him down 2 to 3 times a year for a couple years in a row until she gave in and now they are married. And they talk about it like it was cute. Fuck that. You turned me down once and I'm moving on. I've literally never had a woman even want to associate with me after she turned me down the first time. I don't understand how anyone else has somehow extended the option of friendship. I like the perfume a girl at work was wearing and wanted to buy some for my wife. I could not figure out a way to ask her what it was without sounding like I wanted my wife to smell like her. I still don't know what product, and I guess I never will. I had a guy ask me what I was wearing. Flat out told me he loved it and I smelled good. Asked me what it was called because he was gonna buy it for his wife. I didn't have a problem with it. I was actually flattered. When working in retail and you can't say anything rude to customers, old men like to say wild things like you look like one of those uptight librarian / teacher types in an 80s music video who rips off her glasses and lets her hair down and dances on a car while you're just trying to tell them the total for their purchase. I used to work opening shift at a McDonald's when I was about 18. There would be old men waiting to come in before we opened for their cup of coffee and to hang out. They are nice. And I would talk to them when I wasn't busy. Then, one day, one of them told me he would bend me over his knee and spank me. Sir. No. No. That's so gross. Why do people think these types of comments are appropriate? Exclamation mark. Might sound innocuous, but in an online gaming forum I'm in "How old are you?" usually followed by some type of intercordial advance when they learn I'm over 18. I get the opposite. People suddenly and obviously disappointed to learn I'm not a minor. Really duckin' weird. That's crazy weird, but honestly I see it too. Usually when someone's being weird to me, I'll say I'm a minor full offs with my friends, then they'll say some weird poop like even better. No the hell it ain't. You're pretty for a. Fill in the blank with any possible description. Creepy and insulting. Honking or shouting from a moving vehicle. We literally have a song about how much we hate guys who do this. Take the hint. A friend was dating someone who essentially told him, "Thank goodness you're smart." For a Puerto Rican. And he was like, "Ha. Wait what?" Turns out she was really prejudiced, but because he was cute and sweet she didn't mind overlooking his culture. Thankfully he had enough self-respect to dump her. It's crazy the insults people try to twist into compliments so they can act the victim when they are called out for being a creep. Pretending to know me, so I'll give them my real name. I had a borderline stalker and he would wait for me at the bus stop. I gave him a fake name and ended up convincing him that I had a twin. Every time he saw me, he asked which one I was, and I pretended I was the other one every time. My personal unfavorite was, "Thanks for the show. I really enjoyed watching you run." Said by the absolute creep who followed me for over 2 miles while I was out running. He was in a truck. He rolled down the window and drove slowly while watching me. I couldn't shake him. He laughed while he said it, and I was irate. He absolutely knew you were creeped out, and that was his favorite part. What an asshole. Yes. This is terrifying. He gets off on creeping out women and I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to escalate his behavior. I had a guy tell me I'd be the hottest girl in the place if I took off my glasses. I told him I'd gladly remove them if it meant I'd never see his creeper face again, but sadly my vision isn't that bad. I like that comeback. You look better without your glasses. Thanks. You look better when I don't wear my glasses. I've heard men tell my children how pretty their mom is in front of me, and I just find that to be beyond creepy and weird. Don't tell my kids you think I'm hot. And actually just don't talk to any kids if you're trying to hit on their mom. Exclamation mark. Weird. I had a therapist say this to me when I was a teenager. So up here ducked up. Yeah. I was trying punch the permanent clock a few weeks ago. But you think mom's hot, so I'm all better now. Thanks bro. Oh my god. Exclamation mark. That's wild. My vice principal once told me how pretty my mom was, and I was like, you his, that why you called me in here? It was not. But it was ducking weird. When they call teen girls jailbait. Having a countdown for when a celebrity is legal. I'm a man, but I can still say without question that it's where my hug at. People who say that skeeve me the hell out, and it's always exclusively to the opposite gender. I say this because I've been asked this by a woman before, and it was the single most uncomfortable experience of my life for a variety of reasons, including that. Why don't you come over here and give me a hug? You'll feel better after you do. What about your parole officer? Since I'm seeing similar comments, I'm just gonna put here that I have never been catcalled on the street once since I passed the age of 16. I'm 25 now, and I've never been catcalled since. The most I was catcalled was when I was 14 to 15. Disgusting. I remember a man older than my dad making gross comments about my legs in a bathing suit at the beach. I was 9. I walked to elementary school with my friend, and we felt so cool and mature being able to walk to 5th grade alone that we never told our parents about the guys who would sometimes make intercordial comments to us. I wish we had, but back then we were afraid they wouldn't let us walk, and we wouldn't have that time together. Do you live alone? Are you here alone? Why? Why? Do men feel it's okay to ask that? No matter what the situation is, I'm going to say no. Smile. I'll never forget the time I was taking the trash out at the end of my shift restaurant. It was summer. We had just survived a brunch shift, and this man told me you should smile. Without missing a beat, I told him to eat my poop. He didn't like it. Oh poor baby. I feel so bad for him. Not a woman. but from experience witnessing this ladies. When Christian men tell you God told me one day I would marry you, that's your cue to run. Doesn't matter what you believe or how you feel about him, nobody has ever said this without hiding a desire to control or abuse women. If it were true, and to be clear it's not, and the guy deserved you, he'd tell you, after you decided to marry him, not to coerce you into dating/marrying him. Your feelings about this are irrelevant. It's divinely ordained. Previous generations have twisted religion to their will and wielded it as a weapon to the point they're creating a generation of atheists. Every comment ever about wanting to impregnate me, that's stalking wild. Like when is being like yeah I wanna impregnate you not come off as creepy and rappy mayo. Trying to make you think something is wrong with you, but they would do you the favor of dating you, usually after you have already rejected them. For example, sorry, not interested, oh, come on. I don't mind your tits being so small. I like flat-chested girls. Classic negging. You should smile more. It's creepy and patronizing, and makes me want to throat punch them. My favorite replies say something funny then. When I was 18 to 20 years old, I was at a gas station and some 40-ish creepy guy said I looked like a model, and I should go to his house to take pictures as he was a photographer and could do a portfolio for me. Not exact words, but any type of coercion. Like, they think just being persistent will change your mind. They think oh it's okay, she's just playing hard to get. I'll keep bugging her until I get my way. Oh just have this drink and relax. Why are you being such a stuck-up bitch? I'm trying to be nice. Disclaimer. I'm 100% no means no. To be fair, how many rom-coms tell the story of a girl who is completely annoyed with a guy, but is won over by his persistence? We've been sold a lie. And there are plenty of women who expect men to chase them. It's a mess. This is how rigid gender roles/patriarchy hurt us all. Having a random guy come up to you, and he explains in detail what he wants to do with you. I have had this happen in person and online. In person is a million times worse, because it's harder to get him to leave you alone. Now if it's my so that I have known for 25 plus years, it's hot as hell. Some random guy that I don't know. Nope. Stranger danger. Fight mode engaged. You look different when you're awake. You smell different when you are awake. Takes it to a whole other level. If I were still your age I would definitely hit it up with you. I have had *multiple* 5+ men attempt to flirt by showing me hardcore porn on their phones. So I don't even know what men think is okay. I'm old, butch and queer as duck, so I don't have to put up with as much unwanted male attention as I used to. But lately I've encountered a few insecure guys who seem to think that degrading themselves and guilt tripping will score them a pity date. I had to fend off a guy last weekend who just wouldn't stop with crap. Like I know you'll never give me the time of day because I'm so fat and ugly and no one ever gives me a chance because of my autism, but I thought you might be different. At the end of the event, when he finally went home he begged for a goodbye hug. And when I refused he went for a side hug anyway. I hang out in nerdy circles, fantasy/sci-fi/anime/etc. conventions, so this type of guy is *everywhere*. I'm not trying to hit on you, but * proceeds to hit on you *. I had a man once tell me that I was getting old and should think about children. I'm 24. What does he think you are? A fruit fly? Any comment on my physical appearance when they are first introducing themselves? Hey, I'm Michael, Christina's brother. Nice bazangus. My 16-year-old sister was 9 months pregnant at Walmart with my brother, and she was alone in the baby aisle and this guy walks up to her. He asks her name and she silently points to her belly and rolls her eyes. He's like, oh, I'm aware. Is there a father for that baby? My sister goes, isn't there always? My brother overheard it in the next aisle and chased the guy off. What a weirdo. Apparently a lot of 40 plus aged men put in 20 something age in their dating profile to avoid being age filtered out, then claim it was an innocent mistake that the app won't let them change. Let's see that smile beautiful, like get the duck away from me. Even a simple back quote hey there beautiful is creepy. Back the FK. Good girl. Said it once as a joke and found out my GF at the time had a praise kink she didn't know about. Maybe it's just me, but asking if I live alone. Now if at this point of inquiry there was an already established friendship, I suppose it's okay. But if you are a stranger or an acquaintance, that would freak me out. I've been watching you from across the room and just had to come over and say hi. What a way to spike up anxiety. D*CKP*CS. Guys, please don't do this. Oh, you don't need a man? Exclamation mark. Fine. Don't come crying to me for protection when you get assaulted then. As a teacher, I cringe so hard when men say, how do your students focus on class? Or man, I wish you were my teacher. That's not a compliment and it's disturbing to think about, which apparently they don't do before saying it. In any context it's weird. But it's worse because I'm a young high school teacher, so I have to be super diligent in maintaining strong boundaries between my students anyway. Whenever they tell you to smile in any variation of ways, IDK, maybe it's okay for taking a consensual picture. Say cheese bitch. I'm a nice guy. Not saying, but when I was in college, one time I was standing in line at Starbucks. Some random guy 20 years my senior standing behind me that I didn't even make eye contact with thought it was appropriate to reach out and move my bra and tank top straps aside to read the tattoo on my shoulder. If it involves touching a woman you don't know or saying something about their appearance, relationship status, or smile, just ducking don't. I have an uncommon last name. This one time I was registering for a conference and this cute girl at the registration desk looked at my name tag and said, "Oh, you have the same last name as me, but yours has a D at the end." Without thinking anything perverted **ATALL** I replied, "Oh yeah? Question mark? Exclamation mark. Well, we should get married and I'll give you my D." I swear to God I did not mean it intercorsally at all, and as soon as the words left my mouth I realized what I said, turned bright red and sheepishly walked away. But you exist for my pleasure, right? After I refused to have intercourse with him, there was a bit of a culture difference there to say the least. No ducking way. Referring to women exclusively as "females", no matter the context, makes me instantly on guard as to what your motivations are, especially in a casual social settings. Unless we are talking some type of scientific gendered situations, there's rarely a need to use males and females in place of men and women. You look good for your age. It's insulting because it assumes older women can't be attractive and you are somehow an oddity. Proper reply is you don't. That makes one of us. I think all women will agree that this is the worst. Shush. Let it happen. It is disgusting, no matter the situation. I'd be all over you if I were your age. My father-in-law whispered this in my ear when I was hugging him goodbye as he was leaving our house one Christmas. Literally felt his wet lips on my ear as he said it. That sounds incredibly traumatizing, and I hope you don't invite him over anymore. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.